Carol speak, I think we all have a great deal of confidence that you, along with your team, will help bring those numbers down. It really is troubling as we sit here and enjoy the beautiful meal we've enjoyed here today to confront numbers like that. It's just completely unacceptable. Congratulations and continued good luck with your very important work. Our final honoree this afternoon is Marlene Barasch Strauss. She is an art historian whose lectures are featured annually in the Grace Rainey Rogers Theater of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and the Society of the Four Arts in Palm Beach, Florida. Marlene lectures around the country at distinguished museums such as the Smithsonian Institution and the Corcoran Gallery in Washington, D.C., the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and the Art Institute of Chicago. Marlene's series at the Met have included talks on the lifestyles of the rich and famous in ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome, her romp through art history with kings, queens, and courtesans, great art inspired by great passion, and most recently, her portraits of couples in the art world, couples like Alfred Stieglitz, Georgia O'Keeffe, Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, Jackson Pollock, and Lee Krasner. In 1978, Marlene served as diplomatic courier to Christos Domas, director of excavations on the Greek island of Santorini. She is currently a member of the Works of the Art Committee of the Norton Museum of Art in Palm Beach. She lives in New York and Palm Beach with her husband, and it is my pleasure to welcome Marlene up here. Marlene Strauss.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to look around this room and see so many dear friends, so many old friends, and I want to recognize that table over there, my family, my husband, my sister, my son, my grandson, my daughter-in-law, and my son-in-law. So there they all are. Well, you've already heard that I am an art historian and have been one since my days at New York University's graduate faculties of art history and archaeology, the venerable Institute of Fine Arts. My training was as a generalist with a concentration in classical art, Greek, Roman, Egyptian. My unrelated minor was Islamic art. Now that translates into a background that encompasses 50 centuries or 5,000 years of art and archaeology. One might say that I know a little bit about a lot. While I was still in graduate school, the Met recruited me for their speakers platform, and a year later I was promoted to their concerts and lectures department, where I have been ever since, and that's more than 20 years. So I must love it. The world was my oyster, so to speak. I was invited to pick any area of art that I wanted to speak about. I was free to design series on any aspect of architecture, sculpture, or painting. I had one self-imposed dictum, and that was to blow away the layers of dust and debris blanketing the famous icons of art history, making these icons come alive in a way that an audience could understand. Get rid of the incomprehensible, stultifying art jargon that so many of my venerable colleagues like to use. My very first talk, as you heard Paula say, was Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous in Ancient Rome. I was seduced by ancient Egypt's credo of immortality, and so I designed a series called Ancient Egypt. It's a matter of life after death. The artist and his muse was another topic I thought would prove provocative. I love, for instance, Picasso's depiction of a bowl of luscious fruit as a secret code for Marie-Thérèse Voltaire, the young blonde beauty who became his mistress while he was still married to Olga Koklova. Now recently, my talks have focused, as you heard, on couples who make art. I wanted to know everything about them. how they lived, what inspired them, and what influence they had on the world around them. Sometimes they were wonderfully supportive, sometimes wantonly destructive. This interest has led me to explore the art and relationship of photographer Stieglitz and painter O'Keeffe, and the artists Pollock and Lee Krasner, Diego Rivera, and Frida Kahlo. Art was a career to each of these people. Their standard of living depended on how well their art sold. In each relationship, there was a need to compete and to create one's own success. Now, this, of course, complicated, very complicated relationships. Their art was a reflection of their lives, their interpersonal relations, their genius, and, of course, the zeitgeist. I appreciate very much being part of this wonderful group of women and being honored here today. My accomplishments are modest indeed alongside theirs, but my pride in being honored with them is huge indeed. Thank you very much.